Hello and welcome to the Get Creative Podcast, the podcast for creatives by creatives. I'm Evan Schmidt, and my guest today is Brett Westerman. He's the morning show producer and assistant program director at 590 KQNT. It's an AM radio station in Spokane, Washington. And Brett and I also have an old connection from our public radio days back in college, and I've always loved his voice, so you'll like this one. Hey, Brett, thanks for coming on the show today. So tell the audience a little bit more about you.
Thanks, Evan. I grew up in the Tri-Cities, Washington, Eastern Washington. Always been into music, into radio, into history. I guess growing up, I learned how to play piano and guitar. Been doing both of those ever since, and developed a really big passion for radio when I was in college. I worked at NPR with Evan at Northwest Public Radio there in Pullman. And ever since, I now produce a morning news radio show, local news, sports, weather, traffic, live every morning, and still play music, play in a band, and yeah. From the Tri-Cities, still here in Eastern Washington. Now I live in Spokane. That's where you can hear me on the radio. Yeah.
Cool. So in your time in broadcast, you spent a lot of time on broadcasts, on the air, and in front of cameras. What's something really good that you've learned?
Make it a conversation for sure. Don't over-prepare. Don't try to be someone you're not. Don't try to talk funny. I can get frustrated with some broadcasters when they try to have a voice or whatever, because I think it takes away from the conversation you're having with your viewer or with your listener. I think that's what a lot of people are looking for, and that's what can make for the best, whether it's entertainment or news and information. Just be real and make it like you're talking to like your grandma on the phone, or your girlfriend on the phone, whoever it needs to be. So that makes it simple. I think that simplicity makes the information come through, or the entertainment, all that more entertaining.
And I think that's really true, because I meet a lot of people that you see the code switching happen every time they talk to somebody, and it's sort of like the Shakespeare thing of like everybody's a player, everywhere is a stage sort of thing, and everybody's just switching roles all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think lately people have gotten kind of frustrated with that in entertainment, where especially with social media now, you have so many opportunities to be yourself and show people what it's like to be in radio or be in television or be just in the news. And we're real people, and we go home to our funny looking dogs, or, we have activities outside of our jobs that we like to do. And I think that can really help people connect. And whether it is news or entertainment, connect with the broadcaster or with the writer or whoever. And I think that makes for a lot more effective communication.
I definitely enjoy something when somebody is not real, or when they are real, and when they're not trying to be the stereotypical newscaster, unless it's some animation joke or something like that.
Yeah,
So,
it's a little, it can turn people off for sure, including myself.
so earlier you mentioned a radio show. For some of the listeners in the Spokane area, they'll be able to hear that. But if they're around the world, where can they find your stuff? And what are you working on? Anything else besides the radio stuff? This is your pitch session.
All right, for sure. So we call it the Morning News Express on a AM station here in Spokane. You can find it on the AM side of the dial at 590. You can also listen online at 590kqnt.com, or you can download the free iHeartRadio app, look up 590, and then listen in the morning. I just do the morning show. It's on from 5 to 9 a.m., and it's Spokane, Washington. Local news, traffic, sports, weather, live every day for 4 hours. I produce the news, edit the sound, fill in on sports, and hang out. And sometimes they make jokes about me on air, and sometimes it's just me filling in. So that's fun. And you can listen to that at 590kqnt.com. Then other than that, I write music. Right now I'm kind of between bands because I live on the other side of the state from my band members. But you can look up Lingering Souls is the name of the band. It's kind of surf rock. We've done shows around Washington State. I play bass in that band. And you can hit me up on Instagram. I'm btwesterman, Westerman, to keep up with kind of what I'm up to. And hit me up email-wise if you want. I do voice stuff as well. I've done audiobooks, commercials, and the like. You can email me at btwesterman, WESTER@live.com for any voice type stuff.
And all of that stuff will be in the show notes, of course, in case people weren't jotting it down. Well, Brett, thanks for coming on the show today, and great to hear your voice again. And thanks for getting creative with me and the audience.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Evan, and hope good luck with your show and all young broadcasters and communicators. And I think these skills can translate to any job, really, where you have to get up or even talk to your team. So have fun communicating and being creative while you can do it. I think that makes it for a much better experience for the listener and you, because it's not fun reading stuff.
That's it for another episode of Get Creative. You can find more information about my guest in the show notes. Be sure to subscribe so that you get the next episode in your sleep. And please give the show a review. For more information about me, go to evanschmidt.com, follow me on Twitter and LinkedIn, and watch my vlog on YouTube where I share lessons that I've learned. Thank you for listening. Now go get creative.